This mutation is called Power Trip, and it is being played on the Vermillion Problem. We have 3 mutators active. We have Power Overwhelming, we have Photon Overload, and we have Long Range. Let's have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. This is going to be a Mengsk solo. You can see over here the Stitman player has nothing, but he does have a very interesting icon over there. And I'm not going to make any more references to that. Praise Eddie. But let's have a look at the masteries. Mengsk, 30 points into conscript support, 30 points into the Royal Guard cost, and 30 points into the starting mandate. And you can see he's already used his starting mandate here to drop a bunker and saturate his mineral line. Mengsk has one of the fastest complete saturations of his natural because of that starting mandate mastery. He also has access to fast expand strategies if he wishes to do so. But he's decided to use this bunker to saturate his mineral line, and it's something that I have actually been experimenting with. I do like that strategy a little bit better than the fast expands, but the fast expands sometimes are just so much fun to do. Mengsk has picked the principal proletariat prestige, so this is the Royal Guard prestige, which is going to increase the experience gained by his Royal Guard and reduce the gas costs as well. And remember, this is going to be compounding with the Royal Guard cost mastery over here. He has not picked the Royal Guard support mastery here, so he will be ideally going for a mix of troopers and Royal Guards in his army. So let us talk a little bit about the mutators that are active on this mission. So we have Photon Overload, which is whenever you start dealing damage to enemy structures, they will gain the Photon Overcharge buff and they will start to attack you for, I think, 30 seconds. We have the Long Range, which causes enemy units and structures to have a longer weapon range, and I believe it is also vision range. Yes, it's also vision range. And then we have this one, which is the deadliest of them all, which is the Power Overwhelming Mutator. This will allow enemy units to cast abilities randomly, and there is a list of abilities that they do cast. They do not cast every single ability in the game, but there are a lot of nasty ones there. There are black holes, there are secret missiles, there are psionic orbs, there are fungals, there are viper yoinks, there are a few, and there are psionic storms as well. So if you are interested, the full list is available on Starcraft2coop.com, your #1 source of Starcraft 2 co-op information. So, first attack wave is on the way, and we will see what the enemy composition is and how Mengsk is going to be dealing with this. And like I said, it doesn't really matter too much for Stitman. Stitman's not going to be doing anything. He's moved Super Gary, or he's moved Gary off to the side over here. He's doing, this is going to be a Mengsk solo, and we have a few of these things. And you can see the first ability that's been casted, Point Defense Drone. Again, very, very unusual. Like, it's a reasonably rare ability, but because those zealots had nothing else to attack, they dropped the Point Defense Drone instead. And the mechanics for the Power Overwhelming Mutator is a little bit obscure. It's not very clearly detailed. Like, a lot of people do not know how it works, and it's a little bit too complicated to explain in the cast. If you are interested, again, the Starcraft2coop.com mutators page will tell you how this thing works. It basically has a global energy pool that gets added, and enemy units will cast depending on the amount of energy in the energy pool. You can see Mengsk just building a lot of bunkers right now. He is going to be going full def, and he's going to be building a lot of stuff. So what do you have in production over here? Mengsk has already picked the Amplified Airwaves upgrade, so he has that. He has his Imperial Witness out as well, so that one is going to be generating the extra mandate for him. And he seems to be doing really well already. We have 160 mandate generation. He's just running off the 1 base saturation right now. And he's going to be putting down his Ghost Academy. Is it called the Ghost Academy, or is it something else? It has the Royal Academy. There we go. So it's called the Royal Academy, and he will be getting some ghosts out at some point. So this is one of the reasons why I asked him to solo this, is because A, he's a really, really good player, and you know, he's the kind of player that is good enough that, you know, if there were a future co-op tournament, I would probably ask him if he'd be interested in playing, because I think he has a good skill set and he has a big experience with different playstyles. So he's going to go for this Ghost Academy right now. And yeah, the reason why I asked for this Ghost Academy build, and the reason why he's going to be building Ghosts, is because Ghosts have a very interesting interaction with the Power Overwhelming Mutator. The Power Overwhelming Mutator allows Ghosts, or at least Mengsk Ghosts, to actually kill the units with energy bars. And this is something that I did test in the You can see over here there are a few secret missiles coming down as well with a Zerg call down, trying to clear and push through this expansion. But one of the things is that these Mengsk are able to kill units with the power overwhelming mutator once they get an appropriate rank. And if you are unsure about this, there is a Mythbusters episode where I tested it. I cannot remember the exact episode number, and if I remember, I will put a thing in the... I'm gonna try this little YouTube cards thing. I will try and link to that Mythbusters episode if I can find it. But yes, Mengsk are able to deal damage through EMP and feedback on power overwhelming mutators, because generally that is not how the power overwhelming mutator works. It's just that Mengsk has that. If you want to say it's a bug, it's a bug, but that is how it works. So Mengsk has cleared his expansion, so he will be taking the expansion ASAP. Over here we have a couple more crystals over here for pickups, and yeah, we have supply bunker drops as well. You can see storms coming down, lots of inhumanity on top of these workers or these troopers over here. But these Aegis guards are just gonna have absolutely no problems dealing with that one Zell. That one Zell also casts a defensive drone on him, well, not a defensive drone, a barrier on himself to try and protect himself, but unfortunately he stands no chance against the Uber Aegis guard. Yeah, 2 crystals picked up, another one more for pickup over here. There's going to be another attack wave that'll be coming up sometime soon, so this guy will have to probably try and get out of the way before that attack wave comes up. Yes, he's going to be fine, and we also have the expansion on the way. We have a bunker drop, try and fast build this expansion. Remember, getting your expansion out is really, really important. So Mengsk will be trying rushing that. He has already 3 Ghost Academies on the way, and we have his first Emperor's Shadow as well. Is going to be popping out just about now. And there we go. That Emperor's Shadow is now going to start soaking up experience. And notice how he is actually building his Royal Guards. He's not building a lot of Royal Guards because he wants to focus his experience onto single Royal Guards here so that they rank up to their rank 3 rank basically. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people do with the Royal Guards is they just try and rush them out. Yeah, Royal Guards are good, but they're good when they get their rank 3. And if you do not believe me, try your prestige leveling and see how well that tends to work. We have a very nice EMP over there, but remember, the Royal Guard is not able to deal damage anymore, or at the moment, to these units, even though they have their energy bars, because the Royal Guard has not ranked up. But yeah, already a rank 2 through Aegis Guard, and rank 3 is going to be coming up right now, or Emperor's Shadow will be coming up very, very soon now. And we have an attack wave coming up here, some semblance of the attack wave, a few Corsairs, or a few scouts with a Corsair. That attack wave is going to be the big one, and Mengsk will have to try and deal with that. Emperor's Shadow already at rank 3. We have some nukes coming out on the way as well for Mengsk, and yeah, no more Royal Guards in production at the moment for Mengsk. Okay, we have the next one coming out as well. It's going to be another Emperor's Shadow, and we'll see how Mengsk is going to be dealing with that. But yeah, one of the mistakes I commonly see players do is that they rush out the Royal Guards and they build a lot of them. And don't get me wrong, the Royal Guards are really good, but they're only good once they are rank 3. And if you've been prestige leveling a few times, you will notice that they're not actually very useful unless they have the rank 3 upgrades. And so it's very important, in the same way that you play Abathur and you farm your biomass and you stack your biomass onto a single unit so you get your ultimate evolutions. These Emperor's Shadows and Aegis Guards and the rest of the Royal Guards, they work the same way. You gotta stack your experience onto single guards so they rank up as quickly as possible, and that is where they get their maximum upgrades. And we see we already have one rank 3 Emperor's Shadow, a second one at rank 0, and this will have absolutely no problems ranking up as well. And once you actually get a large enough army, and once you start playing a little bit more hyper aggressively, then you can actually start building your second and third guard just to soak up the extra experience when you're not really paying for the upgrades. In the early game, it's very important to get the rank 3 upgrades because that is where you get your maximum value from them. So you can see over here, Mengsk is going to be building some more Emperor's Shadows right now because he has his first rank 3, which is really important for him. And this is also tends to time up really well with the saturation of his expansion. So his expansion is completely saturated right now, and his gas income is going to be doing pretty well. And Mengsk now sitting at 100 mandates, so I'd like to see maybe a few drops over here, because we have a trooper that get dropped down and a big nuke from Mengsk here, so he has actually cleared this out. A little bit of inhumanity from Mengsk, but that is fine. These guys signed up for the job, and they know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and Mengsk now just adding a few more weapons to his guys. But yeah, he's doing a lot. He's doing really well in terms of his gas income, and Mengsk also sitting at the 3 mandate. This mandate generation is going to go up right now. He's waiting for this attack to come on. Yeah, very nice EMP right on top of these scouts, and you can see the amount of damage that's getting dealt here. It brings their hull down to about 50% HP. There's another one, another EMP right on top of these carriers. This enemy composition, by the way, is really difficult to handle the fleet of the matriarch because it just wrecks you with the interceptors and stuff. So Meng's doing a really good job here. Secret missile on top of one of these guys. This guy gets blown to smithereens, but the EMP's doing amazingly well for Mengsk, and that is actually causing these carriers and the rest of these attack waves to actually get damaged by the EMPs, which is really nice here. So we have Corsair Disruption Webs being cast again. Mengsk Emperor's Shadow gets Time Warp, and there's another very nice EMP over here that seems to be doing really well here for Mengsk. Again, unfortunately, that Imperial Witness did get taken out, but now the rest of these things have been cleared out, and Mengsk has to do a little bit of picking up of crystals right now. He's getting a little bit low in terms of the timer. So he needs to start picking up some more of these things over here. We have a Zerg cooldown that gets used. Zerg cooldown will clear out the rest of the stuff, and they will actually start to push into this area here. There is a hybrid dominator here, so this one's going to be a little bit more difficult. And this thing may actually get killed off by the enemy units in the attack wave. So we're going to see how Mengsk is going to be pushing up here. So he's going to be dropping a supply bunker down, right, to help with the pushes. Irradiate on one of these Dominion flame troopers over here. And over here now, there is a hybrid dominator that is somewhat upset. EMP on top of the hybrid dominator takes out some of the shields, but the important thing is to try and clear out the rest of these enemy units here, and that is going to be what Mengsk is going to be doing, and he has cleared out this enemy base here. And so now it's just basically a little bit of cleanup job that is required. 3 guys here, unfortunately, they are unable to pick up the crystals right now. They need to be converted over, but Mengsk is doing pretty well for himself. So he's lost a total of 134 troopers. This is inhumane, but that is fine. Nothing too bad can happen over there. So Mengsk has basically secured these 4 crystals, so this is just a matter of time before he sends them back. And this one, I think, is on the high ground. This looks like it is on the high ground, so this crystal is not going to despawn as well at this next lava surge. So Mengsk is doing okay for himself. He's just picking up these crystals and getting ready to move them back. So that's 4 more crystals ready for pickup. All seems to be good for him right now, and we will see where he's going to be pushing into where the next set of crystals are going to be spawning. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Again, there are going to be a lot of enemy units here, but he has a good number of Emperor's Shadows. He's dropping a few more guys over here to try and deal a little bit of damage to the Molten Salamander. Again, he has plenty of time to clear this thing out. Okay, so we have 3 crystals all over in this location. Really easy to handle as well, so this is going to be where Mengsk is going to be pushing up next. And remember, these crystals are on the low ground, so very important to try and get these crystals before the next lava surge comes up. So Mengsk is going to be sending these crystals back, and he's going to be repositioning his army and getting ready with this next engage. So he has actually, unfortunately, lost his Imperial Witness, so he's unable to generate that extra mandate effectively. A few more structures here for Amon's forces. And one thing to note here, did you see what happened over there? The probe dropped a point defense drone, and the point defense drone casted a time warp on top of the army. Yes, point defense drones can cast abilities with a power overwhelming mutator. It is really annoying, but that is how it tends to work. Actually, did the point defense drone cast? I think it does. I think they do cast. I think they do have the ability to cast with the power overwhelming mutator. I know it happens from the missile command mutator, but that is something else. But very nice EMP from Mengsk. Unfortunately, he does end up missing the scout, but he does EMP again to just clear out the scout. The abilities from these enemy units are really annoying. He uses the Zerg call down here to start bulldozing through this enemy base. There is an attack wave on the way over here. There's still 1 more crystal for pickup, and there's another it's a double pronged attack wave, so this is going to be a little bit annoying, but yeah, there's a random carrier that has aggro. That supply bunker does get salvaged. And what is Mengsk going to be doing over here? There's an attack wave. Unfortunately, those workers were not able to pick up those crystals, but the attack wave did end up aggroing. But this attack wave may move back now with the lava surge, and this attack wave will also move back with the lava surge, which actually kind of helps Mengsk a lot. He just needs to get these crystals back up onto the high ground so he doesn't end up losing any of these things. So I think this 1 crystal may end up dying. Unfortunately, that 1 crystal did end up being lost by the lava surge being a little bit annoying, Amon being a little bit annoying here, but we have now a nuke call down available for Mengsk. So this Molten Salamander will be taking damage, and very nice nuke over here, and this nuke will clear out this attack wave and take out one of these hybrids. There's still another attack wave here on the northern side, and Mengsk needs to try and get his troopers into position. That one missile turret is going to do absolutely nothing against this attack wave. Now the supply bunker does get dropped over here, but Mengsk is now in position. This army getting stormed, time warped right in the middle here, and there are a few Aegis guards as well. Where are the Emperor Shadow? Emperor Shadow finally gets in range, casts an EMP, disables a lot of these scouts here, and now a few more nukes coming down. Unfortunately, there have been some casualties. I think Mengsk did lose one Emperor Shadow. Yeah, one Emperor Shadow did end up going down. Somewhat unfortunate. I think that was a rank 3 Emperor Shadow as well, but Mengsk will be able to rebuild. There's one random carrier here still alive. That is so funny. But Mengsk is trying to focus on getting these crystals up. These crystals are a little bit... These crystals are on the low ground, so those are the ones that need to be prioritized throughout the course of the mission. So Mengsk needs to try and get into position here, sending one Royal Guard forward just to try and just EMP these units. Oh, he's going to be dropping some more nukes here. So he's just going to drop his Ghost nukes here. It doesn't really matter. It drops an EMP there just to prevent any random shenaniganry from Amon's forces. But he's getting into position here. He's going to be clearing out this. One more EMP right down onto this attack, or this harass waves, and he has cleared out the rest of these units. So these ones are all okay. These two crystals are on the high ground as well, so that is not too much of a concern right now for Mengsk. One of the convenient things about Mengsk is he can use his supply bunker call down to actually convert some of these troopers over and pick up the crystals as quickly as possible. So now he wants to push into this space, but yeah, very nice use of the Zerg call down there. Gets something beefy in the front line to just tank, and a disruptor shot goes up, killing off a huge number of the Hydralists here. But EMP on the Hybrid Dominator, nice targeting on the EMP there, and now we have some Ghost nukes as well. And that will end up taking out these scouts and the Hybrid Dominator. And there's one random Tempest over here as well. Again, EMP coming down on top of the Tempest to just take this out, disable it. Now the rest of these structures are going to get cleared out very quickly as well by Mengsk's army. So what does he have as far as unit composition? Yeah, he has 8 Ghosts and 4 Aegis Guards. You can see how effective they are at just steamrolling everything through. And Mengsk is almost supply capped as well. There's another attack wave coming up on the way. There's a random Ghost over here that has actually walked all the way to this area and has already gotten to rank 3. So this attack wave is going to be pulled back. And even though Amon's forces does not take damage from the lava spouts and the lava itself, the attack waves will still move up onto the high ground to pretend, you know, that Amon is not cheating. So that is one thing that actually makes it a little easier for Mengsk. So Mengsk is actually, I think he kind of wants to wait for the nuke to get ready, but I don't know if he's going to have it in time before the attack wave gets into position. It is going to be a little bit close, so Mengsk might actually end up nuking this attack wave, so he doesn't have to deal with the rest of this. So let's see what Mengsk is going to be doing for this attack wave. Okay, so he doesn't want to engage this attack wave. So again, he's going to move his flame troopers forward. He has a few ghosts. Fungal on top of the army, but there's an EMP, a counter EMP from Mengsk, and this Imperial Witness is going to end up going down because the carriers are extremely overpowered. And one ghost goes down, 2 ghosts goes down. This is going to be somewhat problematic. A lot of these ghosts just getting focus fired down by these interceptors. And is that ghost going to survive? I think that ghost might actually end up surviving, and that actually does end up being a little bit useful for Mengsk. A total of 4 ghosts have died throughout the course of this game, but remember, these carriers actually deal an insane amount of damage, and ghosts are not particularly tanky, and they're not very well versed at soaking up damage. And now we have a black hole, the first black hole of the game, I think, on top of Mengsk's one trooper over here. This guy is going to be having a really bad time. Now Mengsk wants to try pushing, but I think he changes his mind. He wants to go and try and maybe pick up these 2 crystals. This is going to be a bit of a slugfest, but Mengsk's doing pretty much okay. How many crystals is he at right now? Yeah, he's at 17 out of the 20 crystals that he needs. So let me see if I can actually get the completion stats here available. So there we go. 18 out of 20. I actually forgot the hotkey for the overlay that I goaded up. AOM Master getting old. AOM Master getting very old. There we go. 18 out of 20 crystals. So those 2 crystals are the only 2 crystals that Mengsk needs. But unfortunately, the Lava Surge is on the way, and Mengsk will probably have to try and get out of the way. Very last minute supply bunker drop, and he wants to try and pick up these crystals. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. frantic clicking intensifies. He's trying to move these crystals up. I don't think they are going to get up onto the high ground. Oh, he just at the last minute. So he's gotten the last 2 crystals. He doesn't need any more crystals right now. So he just needs to hold on until the end of the mission. So we will see that happening very, very soon now. The Molten Salamander has also gotten killed off. So that is really good news for Mengsk. That one Imperial Witness almost getting fried, but all is good here for Mengsk, and now he's going to be sending these guys back. And this crystal now has spawned, so this is the end game of the Vermillion Problem. So yeah, these 2 crystals are going to get deposited into the environmental stabilizer, and Viridia Prime will be saved once again. So yes, there we go. So those are all the crystals deposited by Mengsk, and that is GG.